Okay, so let's dive into something that is just so often misunderstood. We're going to talk about the psychology of people who really navigate life on their own. And no, we're not talking about people who are weak or broken, far from it. But society often sees them through a totally distorted lens.
And here it is, right here. This is the central conflict in a nutshell. On one side, you've got the labels society slaps on: antisocial, distant, broken. But if you actually look beneath the surface, the truth is something else entirely. What looks antisocial? That's actually resilience. What seems distant? Well, that's a deep self-awareness. And what gets mistaken for being broken is really just an incredible resourcefulness. It's a complete shift in how you see things.
So that begs the real question, right? Where does this kind of profound independence even come from? Is it something you choose, or is it something forged in you by life itself? How does someone get to a point where they can not just survive alone, but actually thrive?
Well, the answer almost always, and I mean almost always, traces back to the beginning, to our early years. This isn't a personality trait someone is just born with. No, it's a skill set, one that's built and hardened by what you go through growing up.
Yep, it's right there, in childhood, where the seeds of this intense independence are planted. And look, it's not usually one single big event. It's more about learning a tough lesson way too early, that the world can be a really unpredictable place. It forces you to find your own North Star much sooner than most kids have to.
And those early challenges can look like a lot of different things. We're talking about growing up in a home that just feels unstable, or losing someone you love at a young age, or maybe dealing with emotional inconsistency, where you never know what you're going to get. When a kid has to figure that stuff out without a reliable safety net, they just adapt. They have to. They learn to make their own calls, and pretty soon, they learn to trust their own gut more than anyone else's.
All of those different paths, instability, loss, neglect, they all kind of lead to the same place. They funnel down into one single, powerful lesson. It's a piece of wisdom that's learned the hard way, and it becomes the bedrock of how they view the world.
And there it is. That's the lesson. Now, this isn't about being a pessimist, not at all. It's about being a realist. It's a pragmatic conclusion that's based on cold, hard evidence from their own life. And once you truly learn that lesson deep in your bones, it changes everything about how you manage your own emotions.
So this is what that looks like on the outside versus the inside. What might look like someone being calm or even emotionally distant is actually powerful emotional control at work. It's not that they don't feel things. Oh, they do. They just carry those emotions quietly. They've learned to self-soothe because, for them, falling apart was just never a safe option.
All right, so let's talk about what this builds, because it's not just a set of feelings. Those early experiences create a whole internal toolkit, a mindset that's really geared towards survival and self-reliance.
A huge part of this toolkit is something we can call selective trust, and it is so important to understand this. This is not about being afraid of getting close to people. It's actually the opposite. It's placing such a high value on emotional safety that trust becomes something that has to be earned through action and consistency, not just handed over.
And you can see this play out, They're often the ones who listen way more than they talk. They watch people. They observe. They're looking for patterns, for consistency between what someone says and what they actually do before they let them in. It's a careful vetting process because they know firsthand how much damage the wrong person can do.
So what happens when a problem hits? They don't freak out. An internal script that has been practiced for years just kicks in. First, they just face the problem. No panic, just acknowledgement. Then, their brain scans the archives, all the other times they've overcome something tough. And finally, they tap into that core belief: I can handle this. This right here, this is the internal mantra. It's the voice in their head. And it's not arrogance, not in the slightest. It's a quiet, calm confidence that's been built on a mountain of proof from their own past. It's the fuel that gets them through whatever comes next.
Okay, now this brings us to a really powerful idea, and that's the strength they find in being alone. For these individuals, solitude isn't a punishment, it's a space where they find incredible clarity and an almost superhuman level of self-awareness.
I mean, it makes total sense when you think about it. When you get rid of all the external noise, the opinions, the drama, the chatter, what are you left with? Just you, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own truths. And yeah, that can be uncomfortable for some people, but for them, it becomes their greatest tool for understanding themselves. And the result of all that quiet time? It's this incredible clarity. It leads to a deep, honest understanding of their own limits, their emotional triggers, their core strengths, and yeah, even their flaws. And it's that self-awareness that allows them to move through life so intentionally, choosing peace over chaos and depth over shallow attention every single time.
And this idea just reframes everything, doesn't it? Being alone stops being about loneliness, and it starts being about freedom. The freedom to just be yourself, to live by your own code, and to not need anyone else's approval to feel whole.
So, let's bring it all home. When we look past those easy, surface-level labels, what do we find? We don't find someone who's broken. We find someone who has become resilient, self-aware, and incredibly resourceful precisely because of the road they've had to walk.
And maybe, just maybe, this is the most important takeaway from all of this. Learning to survive alone teaches you to find your strength, not from the outside world, but from deep within. It proves to you over and over again that the most reliable, capable person you can ever count on is you.
So, I'll just leave you with this to think about. Whether it's you or someone you know, who in your life has this kind of quiet, unshakable strength? Because just recognizing it is the first step to truly understanding and appreciating it.